Sports. We are joined by the great Brian Baldinger, our Audacy NFL insider, host of the Best Football Show podcast, Insider Calls, brought to you by Nationwide for your insurance and financial needs. Nationwide is on your side. Baldy, what up, man?
Well, hello, Spike and Ike. How are you guys? I'm doing good, man. Good to be with you all.
What's up, Baldy?
So, Baldy, another week, another A.J. Brown tweet, which has, for a 4-0 football team, we sure find ways after wins to find some sort of controversy. Do you have any opinion or insight on A.J.'s sort of public frustration with, or apparent public frustration of getting the football more often?
Well, they threw it to him the last 5 passes of the game.
Yeah.
The last play of the third quarter and 4 plays in the fourth quarter, they threw it to him. And, he wasn't like he was open. I mean, they threw a deep shot to him out of bounds.
Yep.
They threw 3 deep shots all day. None of them were in bounds, so bad throws. Benjamin Morrison was sitting on top of him. They kind of overthrew him a little bit. But there really wasn't a whole lot of room there. I mean, they threw to him on first down, second down, third down, that stretch at the start of the fourth quarter. And they were 3 incompletions. And then, they had a blitz there late in the fourth quarter. The Bucs were trying to get the ball back, and he was the hot read on the play, and he didn't really win the route. And, Zion McCollum was sitting right on top of him, and, I don't know, it wasn't a good throw either. So, I mean, you can be frustrated, but, some of these, they only threw it 24 times, Spike. And, 9 of them were against the blitz. And Jalen's like going to the hot guy. And most of the time, he's actually going to the right guy, especially early in the game.
Yeah.
And so, that's what Todd Bowles wants to do. They knew that. They had a pretty good plan for it. But, two of the blitzes that he threw to was to AJ, and they didn't complete them.
So, we're 4 games in. I think AJ's averaging about 35 yards a game. I guess,
but Spike, you can't look at it like that.
Why not?
When they were down, I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah,
but
it's all right.
When they're down 26-7 and they got to go play ball, where'd the ball go to? It went to AJ. I mean, they're up 24-3. Like, there's not a real need to go to AJ or to take deep shots or to put the ball in the harm's way in the middle of the field. And so the quarterback's not going to do that. But if you're sitting on the lead like they have been against Dallas, against Tampa, whatever, for the most part against Kansas City, it just shows you that they're not going to put the ball in harm's way and take any chances at that point.
Yeah, I actually thought, Baldy, coming out the locker room and seeing exactly what the passing game looked like in that second half, I don't know what happened at halftime. I'm not in the locker room, but it certainly seemed like they made a concerted effort to try to get AJ the ball in the second half. Like, so when the coaches are saying, yeah, we know how important he is and we try to make him a priority, it certainly seems like that's what they have attempted to do. And to your point, there was only 24 throws in the entire game anyway. Like, I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point to make. There's only 24 throws in the game. He got 9 of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, he caught his first pass.
Yeah.
With 1 minute and 59 seconds to go in the second quarter. They're in total control of the game. He looked like he was, it was a good route. He was going against the rookie Benjamin Morrison. Physically just, out-muscled him for the ball. Looked like he was pretty pumped. And then you're right. They took some shots down the field. They weren't good shots. I mean, honestly, I've seen go balls from Jalen. He's usually pretty good. At least give the guy a chance to go up and win the jump ball. But the ball's, ending up 5 yards out of bounds, nobody's going to make that. Randy Moss is going to catch that ball. So, I thought they took some shots. It wasn't exactly. I thought there was one play, honestly, in the whole 24, play passing game. There was one shot I thought Jalen could have hit him. And it was when he rolled out and he hit Smitty on that 22-yard sort of scramble drill.
Yeah.
I thought he could have hit AJ in stride. The safety was the safety was Tyke Smith. He was on the other side of the field. AJ won, the bang 8 against him. They could have taken a deep shot right there for sure. Mm-hmm. And that might have satiated him for a little bit, but I think it's really hard. Like if you just compare last year to this year, I know they're different. Yeah. But last year they're 2-2 at this time, and Jalen threw 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, and everybody was like, they wanted Nick gone, right? The spy week was week 5, all that stuff, right, Spike?
Yep.
And then, this year they're 4-0, and Jalen's 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. They've turned it over one time as a team. It's really hard to be 4-0. Only Buffalo's the other team doing that. And I think, Kevin Patullo and Jalen and AJ, I think they're all kind of still figuring things out, what they're good at.
Yeah.
And so, I think they're in a good spot, honestly. Like, they could go on a real tear, if they just really try to tweak things just a little bit right now.
I think most people, and even myself as a former player who's also a fan of the team, are a little concerned that AJ may not be happy, right, that they're 4-0 and the tweet and what does it mean and is there something there with him and Jalen? I think that's most of the conversation we've gotten this week is, oh, my God, we're 4-0. Why isn't everybody happy? And we're not talking about fans. We mean guys on the team. Why aren't people just happy on the team that they're 4-0?
Well, I think, AJ is a different guy, right?
Yep.
So I've talked to him about this before. And his mentality, honestly, he has the mentality of, a defensive lineman. Like, he wants to be Myles Garrett as a receiver. He wants to just physically dominate his opponents. But he can only do it if he gets the opportunity like he did, basically in the second half against the Rams.
Yeah.
And Emmanuel Forbes and Darius Williams, it was a joke. They couldn't cover him. They couldn't tackle him. And he took the game over. That's what he wants to do. I think, you can throw Dallas Goedert an underhanded pass and score a touchdown. AJ's not going to get excited. He's just not. Because not that he's not excited in the fact that they're winning. If he was playing on Tennessee again and they were 0-4, I guarantee he'd be really unhappy. But, I think there's just some level of balance. Like, he just wants to, the same way that Mailata just wants to drill people into the dirt, that's how AJ wants that's what he wants to do to defensive backs.
Right.
And if he doesn't get that chance to do it, like he did on the slant against Benjamin Morrison, where he just physically won the route,
right?
It kind of frustrates him.
Yeah, and we've been frustrated with him, pretty much for 4 weeks. When you just look at the overall passing game, we talk so much about AJ and the focal point being on him, but it's really it's not like anyone else is getting a whole lot of targets and catches in the passing game either, right? I mean, so it's not like he's not getting his touches at the expense of somebody else getting it. I guess we'll hear from him in a little bit here because I guess he'll speak to the media. I think most people are just more concerned that he's good with being here and that this won't somehow derail the team moving forward.
I think there's probably, I'm not trying to sugarcoat this thing, but there is frustration with the offense side. There's no doubt.
Yep.
His first catch is a hitch route that makes no sense. There's nobody to block the guy that's covering, right? Smitty's going down the field to block his guy. Like, they want Mailata to go out there and block the guy that's covering AJ. Like, it's a dumb throw. It's a dumb play. Not that Jalen made a dumb throw. But, it's a 2-yard loss, and he's just throwing the ball up like, this is what I'm getting? Like, this is I'm the most physical, in his mind, I'm T.O., I'm the most physically dominant receiver in this league, and this is what I'm getting. This is the bone I'm getting, this hitch route with nobody blocking the guy covering me.
Yeah.
He was just frustrated,
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I'd be frustrated too.
So, one thing we got really used to last year was a dominant offensive line and a dominant Saquon. And we haven't actually seen either of those things so far this year. What are you seeing? We talk to Jordan Mailata every week, and he seems to think that they're very close. He says we're one block away. It's an execution issue. When you're watching the Eagles' offensive line so far this year, what are you seeing that is preventing them from dominating in the same way that they dominated last year?
Well, if you look at just Saquon, I think if Saquon was on here right now, one cut, he slipped on the ground.
Yep.
Okay, negative loss. One, he missed the hole. It's the same route, the same play they ran a ton of times last year. Tyler Steen, lane, or pulling, and the outside lane is open, and it's a home run hit, and he went inside for whatever reason. Nobody can tell any running back what they see, what they don't see. But if he does stay outside, he's going to be in the alley, he's going to run a long ways. So that's some of it. He had a couple, 7-yard runs. There was a little bit of a gap there. He hit it just fine. They're not the runways that he got last year. Yeah. To Mulata's point, they're pretty close to getting that runway. Where if he hits it with his type of speed, like he's going to run a long ways. If you look at, like the 13-yard touchdown run he had, I guess, against Kansas City. I mean, if that play was from 70 yards away, he would have scored from 70. Nobody touched him. Yeah. And, even the touchdown run on, the tush push, which was a clever call. I mean, if they did that tush push from midfield, he would have scored from 50. So some of those runs that he scored on last year was just, it's just a lot closer to the goal line right now.
Yeah. So let's go on to the defensive side, which they gave up some yards on Sunday, but it looked to me, aside from the couple of big plays, like they played really, really well. And one of the guys that played maybe his best game was Quinyon Mitchell. When you're watching Quinyon Mitchell, what is going through your mind as you see him? Because I really thought, I don't know if you can play a better game than he played last week.
Well, that's the best quarterback play of any corner in the league this year, including Surtain, which you'll see this week. I mean, it's the best cornerback play that anybody has seen. Like, that's a great receiver, Abuka. He's a great, great player. He's going to have a great career. And he's smart. And he's everything you want at that position. And he threw a blanket on him. And what he does is the same thing that he did at Toledo. Like, he wins with his feet, and he wins with his eyes. He's not a grabber. People, like, I saw him grab a jersey one time. He got away with it. But that's a veteran move. That's what Slade did his whole life. It's what they do. Sometimes you get called. Sometimes, it's in the right spot. The guy can't see it. You kind of slow him down a little bit. He was literally a teach tape on how to play corner. Everything from sitting on top of the receivers in zone to, sitting on the upfield shoulder and man to break on the ball is just a mad break. He sees it so fast. His reaction time is so fast. How he plays the ball in the air or how he plays it once the ball's in the receiver's hands and how he gets it out.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best cornerback play of anybody I've seen all year.
The thing that was so impressive to me is the balls that Mayfield were throwing were on the money. I mean, they were right on Ibuka's hands, and Mitchell just found a way to get to the ball, or it was really something special. So the Eagles opened up the practice window on Nakobe Dean today, and Nakobe played really, really well last year. What do you do with him? Jahad Campbell's been so good. Is there a way to move Campbell around to get Dean in there? What do you think they do with Dean back?
Maybe Vic creates a package where Jahad comes off the edge a little bit and they play a little 3 linebacker set. But Denver's not a big tight end team. They're a big wide receiver team, 11 personnel. They like to throw it, and they do it a lot of different ways. It would make no sense. Like, Kansas City will put 3 linebackers out there in the field. If they feel like you're a good running team, if you're going to play a lot of 2 and 3 tight ends, they'll play all 3 of their linebackers. But they're going to just match up against your personnel and your personnel groupings. So, it's tough. They drafted Jahad. It was the right pick. He's a great player, and he's just getting started. So Nakobe is the backup. He's going to play special teams. When you play goal line and short yardage and you get that type of personnel in the field, he's going to get a chance to do what he does, which is, he's a mad hitter out there. He's going to get a chance to blow some guys up. But it's going to be tough to get on there with the way Zach plays is ridiculous. Yeah. And what Jahad is just, getting into, it's going to be tough to find him snaps right now.
So Sunday, we have the Broncos. Broncos were, I hate to say the phrase trendy pick, but everybody...
They were.
There was a lot of trendy pick for the Broncos this year. Haven't played, won big on Monday night, but haven't played quite as well, offensively at least, as I think they want to. What are you looking at when the things that we should focus on the most when we're looking at Sunday Eagles and Broncos?
Well, they have great playmakers on defense. Nick Benito and Jonathan Cooper are really good. Zach Allen led the league in quarterback hits last year. Vance Joseph does a great job of moving guys around. You could put Surtain on A.J. Brown. You're going to see that for sure, but you might put him on his ex-teammate Devontae Smith. They know each other really well. they've got flexibility with what they do defensively, and they do a lot. They'll bracket coverage, they'll blitz, they'll rush 5 on first down. I mean, play man behind it, play zone behind it. They do a lot defensively. And then offensively, Bo Nix is a great athlete, and his movement is really good. And Sean Payton is his play calls, especially even on Monday night against Cincinnati. I know Cincinnati's not a great defense, but like some of his play calls, some of play calling is based on the predictability of what defense you're getting and what coverage you're going to get, and attacking that predicted coverage. And there's nobody better than him. And they've got every single play that's been drawn up by man since in 105 years on that play sheet of his that he could call. And this young kid knows how to execute it. Like they're good. They're really good. Now they lost, on a bad kick, against the Colts.
Yeah.
And the Chargers are a good team. They came back in the fourth quarter. So, they've got some blemishes on the record, but they can play as good as anybody on Sunday in this league right now.
All right, Baldy. Should be it's an interesting game. I think the Broncos lead the league in sacks. It'll for an Eagles offense that has.
Well, they led the league in sacks last year, and they've got 14 this year. And it can come from. I'll say this: the takeoff of Benito and Cooper is the fastest takeoff for a duo in this league. Like now, Lane and Malata are excellent at their sets, but that was a challenge for Cincinnati on Monday night. They couldn't get out of their stances. These guys were buying.
All right, Baldy. Looking forward to talking to you next week and talking about the Broncos.
All right, guys.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, Baldy.